Always find what you love and then maximize your growth in Spanish on that particular topic. You gotta lead by example. Build self-confidence in yourself when you know that you can hang with English speakers or Spanish speakers or Portuguese speakers. You got to be okay with putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. You got to get out here and say the wrong thing so that you can find out what the right thing is.
Recently, I joined the Professional Nomad podcast on his YouTube channel for a live stream where we discuss various ways that you can transform your life just by learning Spanish. In this video, I'm going to give my opinion on 4 of those top ways, and we're talking about cultural enrichment, enhanced cognitive abilities, career advancement, as well as personal growth. So join me and hear what I've got to say about how you can transform your life just by learning Spanish. Now let's get to the podcast.
Cultural enrichment. Is learning a new language opens doors to diverse cultures, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for global perspective.
It's not an expectation that you travel when you learn a language, especially nowadays in 2024. Like, you literally can go down the street from your house and engage in a full conversation in Spanish. I would say you can get culturally enriched just by staying in the United States nowadays and learning a language, because it's going to open you up to the families that speak just kind of the situation that you were talking about. You engage in a conversation, and next thing you know, you're at somebody's house and you're at the quinceañera to somebody, the wedding ceremonies, you out there now, so it's just you make connections that will last a lifetime. 10x is your relationships abroad by knowing Spanish. You get to meet more people and develop real relationships beyond the surface by learning these languages. A cultural enrichment is probably one of the biggest things for me. I don't deny it. I don't hide it. I am a foodie. Always for somebody saying, hey, you want to go try this, particular dish you want to try this? If there's somebody's cooking, I'm eating.
Enhanced cognitive abilities. Studies show that multilingual individuals often exhibit improved cognitive skills, such as problem solving and multitasking, contributing to overall mental agility.
I've improved decision-making situations. I'm able to think things out a lot clearer. And I also approach things from a different mindset, because you kind of, when you learn these languages, oftentimes you think more. When you become bilingual or trilingual or multilingual, sometimes your thought might pass through 3 different languages or 2 different languages before you actually act on a thing or act on something. And is it normal? It's normal anymore. So start to get more in tune and more in depth into your cognitive abilities with being a bilingual person or a multilingual person, and doing it over and over and over again until it becomes comfortable. Build self-confidence in yourself when you know that you can hang with English speakers or Spanish speakers or Portuguese speakers. And when you get into a conversation, people, the first question, ¿dónde es usted? ¿De dónde eres? Right? You tell them, soy de aquí, right? Soy de aquí.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they say, well, tú hablas muy bien español. And I'm like, yeah, okay. They say, ¿dónde aprendiste? Cuando era niño, yo estaba viendo telenovelas y dibujos animadas. You're like, really? That's all you did? Like, I'm not, no. Like, I actually studied and learned it.
Career advancement. In an increasingly interconnected world, being multilingual is a valued asset in many professions, providing a competitive edge to expanding job opportunities.
In the last 23 years, I have always explained this to young people that are pursuing particular jobs or the advancement to college or after college. I would always say, make sure that it does not have to be Spanish. It would be advantageous for it to be either Mandarin or Spanish for you to learn. Spanish is easier, and there's more people here in the United States that speak it than Mandarin, even though more people speak Mandarin on a global scale, right? But with Spanish, I tell them there's not too many professions out there nowadays, if you have the gift of being bilingual, that they aren't going to pay you. So I definitely promote people becoming a better Spanish speaker, because if you become a better Spanish speaker, the money will follow.
Personal growth. Not only does it help you with career advancement, but personal growth as well. Mastering a new language challenges and expands one's comfort zone, fostering personal growth and adaptability in the face of new and unfamiliar situations.
Look here, you learn from mistakes, right? That's what they tell us, right? You know, and there's a couple of things that people don't realize that we took for granted growing up. Like you learn from your mistakes, right? Oh man, I won't do that again, right? You know, that was the concept. That was, you know, us learning as we're growing up. You learn from your mistakes. Well, the same thing applies when you're speaking Spanish. You got to get out here and say the wrong thing so that you can find out what the right thing is. You got to be okay with making mistakes. Nobody's perfect, right? That's another thing they tell us when you're growing up. Nobody's perfect, right? We only can strive to make improvements on a day-to-day basis. You can improve every day, but you're not going to end up being perfect, right? But the only way to improve every day is to get out here and put yourself, your vulnerable self, in a situation where you don't know the language, front and back, But to put yourself in that situation, to be okay with being corrected is a big thing. It's a prideful thing. But once you can break down that humility, once you become humble and you allow humility to take over and say, you know what? I know I'm not, fluent in this, but the only way for me to get better is to put myself in these situations so that I can become better. And that grows you as a person. Put your pride on the back burner. Yeah. And so that's personal growth in itself. I would say the next thing is, for me, and I was talking to a client the other day, we were in class. Never hit me till just now. 46 years later, that's growth right there. So we were talking about how your parents and older people growing up would say, oh, you need to think before you speak, right? They would tell us that all the time, right? Well, that's what happens when you're learning a new language. You have to think before you speak. And it's okay to think before you speak, because that's what they used to tell us as growing up as kids anyway. Think before you speak, right? Well, learning a language, you're going to have to think first.
You're really going to have to think
in that language, right? And so think before you speak took on a whole nother realm of understanding for me, like last week. That was like literally last week. I was like, wow, this takes it to a whole nother level for me. More personal growth. There's things that you just eventually start to see. You know how people, the cup's half full or half empty. You start to develop different ideologies and thought processes when you are learning a foreign language, because you start to see things differently. It's so cool. It's so amazing. I hope everybody, eventually gets to that level that's watching this video. I want you to explore, because it's like, if you've ever seen the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, if you've never seen it, that's how it is for me, even after doing YouTube. I mean, I've been speaking Spanish for years, for decades, but for me, doing YouTube and teaching Spanish on YouTube has opened up just grandiose thought patterns of things that I would never think that I would learn or be able to do. Editing and videography and, mixing music. Nobody would have thought that has anything to do with Spanish. It doesn't technically. But what it has done is opened up avenues and doors that I never would have thought that would have been open before. Yeah, always find what you love and then maximize your growth in Spanish on that particular topic. Nos vemos.